I've been speaking a lot about realism and perceived and conceived reality as not fundamentally true. And yet all of science uses perception and conception as its basis. Correct? So scientific truth is what is called empirical evidence. And empiricism means that which can be validly perceived or conceived. So how does what I'm saying reconcile how to approach us to is science valid? How does it extend our ignorance? Even though it's a useful tool for creating technology, which, according to the understanding I'm sharing with you, leads to further ignorance of fundamental truth. So, how does Advaita, or non-duality, reconcile science? It does so by granting full validity to scientific knowledge at the empirical level, which is called Vyaparika or Mithya, while at the same time holding its entire domain appears in and depends on Brahman, infinite consciousness, the one non-dual reality, Para or Trika. Para means pure. So Advaita distinguishes absolute reality, Brahman, Satya, from empirical reality, okay, which is world, body, mind, science. Because these two levels of reality are functional in their own domains. But Advaita does so without independent existence apart from consciousness. There is no reality. Mithya is in between, not utterly unreal, like a square circle, but not self-standing either. It is name and form of Brahman, appearing and operating in time, space, and causality. So in all this, where does science fit? Science and scientific studies look at patterns, laws, and relations within Mithya, the empirical field of measurable phenomena, and that includes everything, brains, galaxies, particles, energies. Because that field is dependently real, its structures and laws can be objectively mapped and successfully used. So Advaita does not dismiss scientific truth. It classifies it as valid within its own order of reality. So the key Advaitic formula, Brahman is real, the world is mithya, its Jiva is none other than Brahman, means that whatever science discovers is ultimately a mode of Brahman, misconstrued as independently existing stuff. Therefore, there is no competition between science and spirituality. Science gives precise descriptions of how appearances behave, and Vedanta speaks to what appearances are, non-dual consciousness itself, seemingly fragmented through ignorance of it. So Shruti, which is revelation, reasoning, and meditative inquiry, are the Brahmanas for recognizing Brahman, means, or for recognizing, while perception and influence ground empirical knowledge, including all of science. So freedom or liberation in Advaita comes not from denying empirical findings, but from seeing that the knower, known and knowing process, uncovered by science, are all expressions of the same luminous self. And that luminous self is the divine self. So let's do a short meditation, okay, to see if you understand this completely. Sit in a relaxed alert posture, with the spine be tall, the body at ease, the face soft. Gently close your eyes or lower your face. Notice that before any thought of world, science, or Advaita non-duality arises, there's a simple knowing presence here, right now. Not a concept, not a philosophy, just the bare, luminous, bare space in which everything appears. So there are sounds in the room, there is a sense of feeling the body, there is the faint play of light behind the eyelids, all of it already known, already appearing without effort. Everything that appears on the screen of consciousness appears without effort. Let a quiet recognition dawn. I am the knowing of all this experience. Stay here for a few breaths, aware of sensations, sounds, and thoughts as movements in a single open field. Now let's see if we can see the scientific world as appearance. Now in imagination, let the scientific world appear in the space of awareness. See galaxies spinning, stars forming and dying, planets swirling in their orbits. Zoom closer. Continents, oceans, cities, laboratories, telescopes, particle accelerators. Notice that all of this, however vast, is appearing right now only as thought or image, a subtle movie in consciousness. It arises in you, which is the aware field that you are. It doesn't arise outside you. Gently repeat to yourself inwardly. The world of atoms and galaxies appears in awareness. Equations, laws, and measurements appear in awareness. All objects of science are appearances in this open room. Don't make this into a rejection of the world. Just notice the status. Appearing, changing, no. Now sense Maya, not as a mistake, but as a mysterious part of appearance, like a dream-making energy that gives coherent form, pattern, and lawfulness to what shows up, whatever shows up. Feel how in this very moment, experience arranges itself into the body sitting there, a room around it, a world beyond the room, a history of science, learning, inquiry. Let it be felt that this entire arrangement is a shimmering pattern on the surface of still awareness. Maya is the name we give to the capacity of awareness to appear as a lawful patterned universe. Silently say to yourself, through Maya, the one appears as many. Through Maya, the timeless appears as time and space. Through Maya, Brahman appears as a scientific cosmos. Rest with the sense of shimmering appearance worldwide. Everything precise and lawful, yet insubstantial, like reflections on a lake. Now let's see if science is a process within the dream. Bring to mind the instruments of science, microscopes, telescopes, equations on a chalkboard, a brain scanner, a laptop displaying data. See scientists observing, measuring, theorizing. Notice scientists, instruments, and data are all part of the same appearing field. Studied together by Maya into a revealed story, revealed body, all within awareness. Invite the recognition. Science is the dream's way of mapping the dream. It is extraordinarily useful within the dream, yet the entire scientific enterprise itself rises and falls in awareness. Let this be a gentle reminder, a gentle smile inside. Nothing is being denied, only recontextualize. The universe of quanta and galaxies is honored as a detailed, precise appearance, never separate from the awareness that knows it. Now we draw attention slightly from the content of experience and sense what does not move. Thoughts move. Body sensations move. Images of the cosmos move. But the basic fact that I am aware does not move. Turn toward that unmoving fact. Let the mind whisper, Brahman alone is. The appearing world is mithya, dependent, shimmering, not other. All of science is Brahman dancing as patterns. There is only the non-dual awareness taking on the costume of a measurable universe. Don't strain to feel anything or feel anything special. Let the simplicity of being aware be enough. This silent, formless presence is what the Advaita points to as Brahman. Rest here for a few breaths. Awareness aware of itself, while the world of science floats like a transparent overlay. Now sense both levels of thoughts. At the surface, a lawful, measurable world with bodies, neurons, planets, and particles. At the depth, a silent, borderless awareness in which all of this appears and disappears. Feel how there is no conflict here. Science belongs to the surface level, the transactional level, where all services are seen as waves of one ocean. This is what Advaita speaks. Advaita speaks from the depth, Paramatrika, where all surfaces are seen as waves of one ocean. Let this understanding settle as a felt sense. Scientific world is not opposed to Brahman. It is Brahman seen through the lens of Maya. Rest in the non-conflict for a minute. Simply breathing. Now return, carrying the insight I shared with you. Begin to notice the simple sensations of sitting here, contact with the chair or cushion, the temperature of the air, the rhythm of the breath. Recognize that these two are part of the same Maya. They're part of the same Maya, woven field, perfectly valid for action, communication, and care. Yet, at no moment do they step outside the boundless awareness that you're in. Gently deepen your breath, wiggle the fingers and toes, and when you're ready, open your eyes, allowing the scientific world to appear, knowing that it is known in the luminous field as appearance. And that field is the stillness that never comes into us. So this is Maya's laboratory, where we reconcile science with non-duality. One Then Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, all this wisdom